When are you going to start writing your own book? When are you going to start writing your own book about your life instead of writing it for someone else? Instead of writing it for your parents, instead of writing it for your friends, instead of writing it for your siblings, for people that aren't you? When are you going to finally start writing that book for yourself? That career isn't for you. That hobby isn't for you. That instrument isn't for you. That sport isn't for you. That class isn't for you. That job isn't for you. And yet you still do it. Why? Growing up, I've always been told that. I've always been told, do this career, do that class, do that sport. And for the longest time, I never did it for myself. I always did it because I was told to. I always did it because people told me it would benefit me. I was told that it would help me in the long run, that I would make more money, that it would buy me the things I've wanted. And yeah, that's cool to have more money, but it's not what I want. It's not the career I want. It's not the job I want. It's not even the sport I like. But I do it because I just want them to be happy. I do it because I just want them to be happy. I do it just because I don't want them to be mad at me. I do it because I don't want to lose them. Me and my friend were recently talking, and she mentioned to me that she was offered a higher promotion, a higher position at her job that she was currently working at. But this position would require her to sign a contract saying that she would stay at this job for another 4 years. But in the end, she would be making really good money. She told me that upon telling her parents and other people, they all told her to do it. They all told her to go for it, to try it. But what she told me was she doesn't want to do it. But she's thinking about doing it because her family wants her to do it. Because in the end, it'll make more money for her. In the end, it'll be good for her. But she isn't ready or wanting to spend those 4 years of her life in that job. And I told her, well, why don't you just tell them that you don't want to do it? That you're here at this job just for now and that you'll eventually be leaving. And she told me, I don't want to disappoint anyone. I don't want to be telling them that I'm going to quit. I don't want to fail anyone. And hearing that, it made me think about one thing. And I told this to her. I said, well, when are you going to start writing the book for yourself then? When are you going to start living life for yourself? Because what I'm hearing from you is that you're just living life because that's what your parents want, because that's what your friends want, because it's safe. And I told her, what is it that you really want to do? And she said, well, I would love to be a teacher. I would love to be helping kids. I would love to make an impact on my community. And I said, well, why don't you go for that? And she said, I don't know. She said, I'm scared. I'm scared to take that risk. And I'm scared that I'm going to disappoint my parents who worked so hard for me. And I remember telling her, you're not your parents and they aren't you. You are your own person with your own goals, your own dreams, dreams that you've had. Are you going to just be fulfilling those dreams of other people? Are you going to be fulfilling those goals of other people as well? When are you going to start achieving your own dreams, going for your own goals? Growing up, I've always was told to do this sport, to pick this class. But in reality, I didn't. I didn't pick them because I didn't want to. Because I had my own interests, I had my own hobbies, I had my own things and passions that I was interested in. I remember as well, my parents would always want me to be safe, to pick the safest option. But as for me, I always went with risks. I never chose to be safe. And I remember when I was 19, I moved out of my parents' house on just out of nowhere. And they were shocked to hear that. They were shocked to see that. But I did it because I wanted to be my own person. I knew that I couldn't be my own person the longer I stayed at my parents' house. And I knew that I was going to struggle. I knew that I was going to struggle moving out, paying my own bills, doing my own thing. But I knew that in the long run, this is what I wanted. Since I was a kid, that's what I wanted. I wanted to be my own person. I wanted to do what I could do by myself. I wanted to see who could I become. Because the longer I lived with my parents, the longer I lived confined into the space that was my parents' house, I felt like I was just being someone who I wasn't. So I moved out, and it was a risk. But I don't regret it. Because in the end, I did something for myself. In the end, I did something for me. And then fast forward, I took even a bigger risk by starting my own business. With only $300 that I was gifted on my birthday, I took a risk to start my own business. And it paid off. I never played it safe because I knew that I wanted to write my own story. I remember when I told her that my friend, she was crying. And she was like, I really hate you for making me cry. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to make you cry. But she said, no, you're right. Because I need to start writing my own life. I need to start writing my own book. Because every day that I've been living so far, I've been doing things for other people. And I told her, yeah, you need to start doing things for yourself. You need to pick a day where it's just about you. What do you want to do? Not doing things because someone else told you to do it. Yes, you're going to work a job. Yes, you might do something that you might not like. But as long as after you're done with work, after you're done with school, you're doing stuff that you want to do for yourself, you are going to be writing your own book. You are writing your own book. But if the longer you do stuff for other people, the more you're not writing your own book, the more you're writing it for someone else. I remember my younger brother who recently just finished up his first year of high school. Right before his first year, right before freshman year, he was picking classes. And I told him, what are you picking? And one of the classes that he told me he was going to be choosing or going to be attending was drawing or art. And I told him, really? You've never liked art a day in your life. What makes you choose that? And he said, well, because my friends are picking it. And I said, whoa, 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 wait a minute. Why are you doing it for your friends? You need to pick a class for yourself. And he said, well, no, I think art's cool, pretty cool as well. And I was like, okay, well, if that's what you say, but you've never liked art. I highly doubt you'll like this. You don't need to be doing things for your friends. You need to be doing stuff that you like to do. And from picking those classes that you like to do, you're going to meet other people that like the stuff that you like. And he brushed me off. And it wasn't until today, or I guess this month, sorry, that he told me, oh, I'm picking my classes for next year. And I said, oh, cool. What are you going to be picking? And he said, I'm going to be picking photography. And I said, oh, cool. You really like photography? He's like, yeah, I really do. And I could tell he does like photography. And I said, well, what happened to art? What happened to drawing? And he said, yeah, I didn't like that class. And I said, I told you. And he said, yeah. And I asked him again, why did you do it? And he said, I did it because I thought I would get the same classes as my friends. But when I finally got into that class, I wasn't even with my friends. And it wasn't even a class I liked. I just did it because my friends told me to do it. And I told him exactly. Start picking stuff for yourself. Start doing things for yourself. Yes, you're going to be doing maybe some job that you don't like, or maybe you're going to be at a school that you don't like, and that's fine. But there's always choices that you can pick that are things that you enjoy. So I think it's time you start picking up that pen and writing the story of your own life, not writing the story of others. Today's recording and last recording that I'm doing is here at the Beaverton City Library or the Beaverton City Park. And if you can hear that train, it is loud. I don't know if the camera or the microphone is picking it up, but now it's really cold. Sunset just happened and I'm freezing to death. I'm so excited to be done here. But this is my last day recording here. And I guess tomorrow or the next time you see me, I'll be in some place entirely different. But I love being here. Again, I've had a lot of memories growing up with my mom, and I'm glad I'm still around. If you have any questions or topics that you want me to talk about, that train. Okay, maybe oh, nope. Okay. If you have any topics or questions that you want me to talk about, you can go to the link tree in whatever place it may be. It might usually just be in my bio of any place that you watch this on. And there's like a button there that just says like questions or topics for future episodes, and you can just leave your question or topic that you have there. If I have not made a video on it, I definitely will make one soon. I have like, I think 10 responses so far, so don't worry, I have seen all of them. Whatever you're doing, just remember every day is a day closer. It may not be today, may not be tomorrow, may not be next week, but as long as you do it every day, it's a day closer. I've kind of gotten used to this coldness. Anywho, that's it for me, guys. Deuces.